this, the dog leash, it has the advantage of, if you happen to pull the primer out, it'll be hanging on the end of this. How you tell when the primer came out of this is when you don't see a tube in there. If the person that's number 3 didn't see the tube or didn't see it go off, guarantee you'll start looking down here for your primer. And we do want to pick those things up because if a kid got one and started messing around with it, you can burn them very badly. What Justin was talking about is if you look there, you see how this is coiled? That means you have to turn it this direction. Whenever I put an implement in, first thing I do is I hook it in the end of the tube. You might want to be on this end. Maybe that's a better way to look at it. Hook it in the end of the tube. You slide in like this, and see, at no point in time did I really have to be in front of it at all. And some of the things that I used to say in the old schools was this. This says US here, us. Okay. Anyways, if you start drifting away, a good thing is lay your hand on the US, put it in, now if you listen, you can hear it scrape in the back. Now, for these long implements, so that this doesn't happen, you very simply do this. Put your hand up here, and you can catch it. No matter how long it is, you've got leverage on it. Okay? You might want to wet it. Find something those are, if they're like they were at the end of the season, it's good and tight. See how easy, Kurt? Yeah. Again, the first thing he does is hook it in. Now you can let your hand slide down. Let your hand slide down and reach back here. You're out of the way of the muzzle. Now, notice he's taking these short, choppy steps. For some reason, people have to believe you pull this out in one go and you have to push it in one go. Stay the hell away from the front. Lately, I have been double sponging instead of using dry sponge, but if you're dry sponging, again, put it in here, reach out. Okay, that's the two main differences in the front end of the piece. We'll bring the rounds in same way. Put it here. Now, one thing I strongly suggest is this: instead of pushing this back and immediately throwing the rammer, step in here. What you want to do is you want to seat the round first, which is just go down like this. Make sure it's against it, then come out and throw it. Now, generally that takes 2 times to get it really right. And how you tell? Here, you can hear it. The gunner listens for that. And you can tell when you get a real thud, not a ring, but a thud, you've got it where it needs to be. By the way, the difference, we put these implements up on the hub, like so. You can put it up on top, but it's just not much harder to do. Okay, if you have a misfire, since we have to wait at least 3 minutes, when you cross these things, again, I'm going to use leverage. All right. Lastly, all the things that apply to the vent are all the same. Anybody see anything here I ought to pay attention to?
Rust.
Corrosion.
Yep.
The primer.
See this pit? What I'm going to do at some point in time is take it to a welding shop and get them to fill weld this. Not always the best thing to do, but it is one thing to do. And you're going to either hook up the dog leash, or you're going to hook up the S-hook to it. Just for giggles. But what you do on my gun, I suggest you either face forward or face back, depending on where the commander is that's telling you what to do. Now, as opposed to where I had you all had it down by your knees, you have to have this down, because if you have it up like that, you pull it, a lot of times it'll pop up. You have it down like this, but I got it clear to the end of my arm. If you have steady pressure, all I have to do to fire this is very simply clean, and it's done. Here's what a primer looks like. It's gone off. Now, it didn't shoot up because we didn't have powder in here. Most of them will end up back there. But when you see that, that's a pretty good indication that that primer went off. And I know it went in the barrel because of what? Plug's gone. Plug's gone. That means we had fire in here. A lot of things that we could do to clear a misfire, we can't do now. We have to go to sort of phase 2 thinking.